Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Courtney Ryan, and it is time for another sexiest things that men wear video according to women. I did one of these videos last year and you all really enjoyed it, so I thought I would do another for 2024 and just kind of see what the ladies have to say. I was interested to see if the answers would change from last year at all, so I posted a question box on my Instagram story and these were the top answers. Keep in mind, we have to leave room for nuance here. I think age and location definitely play a role in people's preferences, and I would imagine that a lot of the women who follow me are somewhat around my age range and might just also like some of the same things that I do. So again, I put together the most submitted answers. This is not just a list I compiled of all my favorite things. I think my list would look a little bit different, but again, really wanted to take a look at what other women think and put together a list that reflects that. So the first thing here is fitted clothing, and this was by far the most submitted response by a landslide actually, which is why I made this the number one thing on the list. So the emphasis for this one is not a specific piece of clothing, but how your clothing fits you. Wearing clothes that fit you properly and enhance your features or body type is the most important thing to consider in my personal opinion, and apparently to tons of other women as well. This is going to accentuate your best features and create a streamlined and proportional appearance. When garments drape and hang correctly without any excess fabric or sagging or being really oversized, they're going to appear more refined and well made. Moral of the story here, when your clothes fit you well, they're going to make you look better, which is kind of the point of clothing in general. So I understand why the ladies like this one. I'm sure a lot of you guys feel the same way. I know we all have our own taste and style, but it was an overwhelming majority of people who submitted responses that said, clothes that fit. I don't care what it is, but if it fits them, I like it. Proportions are so important here. I actually recently did a video on clothing that makes men look taller. And even if you're not someone who necessarily wants to look taller, I think there are a lot of good rules to follow in that video. When I say rules, I mean that kind of loosely. You do not have to follow any sort of rule, but I think they are good pointers to keep in mind when you're shopping and when you're figuring out what looks good on you in terms of proportions, how things should fit you, and all of that good stuff. So if you're interested, go check it out. I think it could be helpful for a lot of you. The next one here were white or black t-shirts. And the biggest takeaway I got from this one is that basics make the best outfit. Keeping it simple is safe, yes, but effective. You cannot go wrong with a black or white solid t-shirt. These can be layered and paired with nearly everything. It is truly a foolproof outfit. And another thing that was so funny and pretty telling here were the responses that I got about crew necks versus V-necks. There were actually some men who answered my question box, even though I clearly stated that it was for the ladies, and they mostly said V-necks, and then all the women said crew necks. Not a single woman said they liked a V-neck style t-shirt, which I just thought was funny because I always tell you guys that I prefer the crew neck, and a lot of you guys will fight me on that, but that's just what the ladies are saying. In a recent video I did as well about how grown men can dress casual, I recommended going for simple, staple, basic pieces that again, that can be paired with more things in your closet. You're going to get more versatility out of them. And there were also a lot of call outs in my response box from women about how they like solid, logo-free type of clothing. So no graphic t-shirts, no things with big logos on them. Again, if that's your style, you wear what makes you happy. Don't let me stop you. I'm just sharing the responses that I got. I think that every guy should have a solid black and white t-shirt. These are so easy to build outfits on and are a must-have if you're going to be layering and pairing different things together. And if you're a guy who likes versatility, these are a must-have. Another thing that guys can wear but often neglect is clear, smooth skin. You're wearing your skin every day, and it is the first thing that women see when they meet you. So keep it looking and feeling amazing with today's sponsor, Tiege Hanley. Tiege Hanley simplifies the process of taking care of your skin. They provide you with all the products you need and nothing that you don't. I recommend you start with their level 1 system, which comes with all the basics. A daily face wash, an exfoliating scrub, which will change your life, an AM moisturizer with SPF 20, and a PM moisturizer. This isn't something you want to put off because prevention is key. Your future self with skin that looks better than every other guy will be thankful. Tiege wants to make it a no-brainer for you to get started on your skincare journey. So when you click the first link down in the description, you'll not only get 30% off of your first box and a free gift, but you'll even get 20% off for life. Also, they just launched 2 new free gifts. One is a silicone body scrubber. If you have never used one of these before, it is a game changer. I use one myself. I have been for a few years now, and I'm obsessed. The other gift option is their new nail and face grooming kit that includes 4 tools that every man needs in his arsenal. As I always say, you need to be clipping your nails, so get on it. These new gifts are at least a $20 value. So go to the first link in the description and get started on your skincare journey today. Sticking on the grooming trend here, we have a fragrance. I always say a fragrance is the icing on the cake to a well-groomed and well-dressed man. Obviously, we want to make sure that we smell good without it first. Gotta have good hygiene and keep your grooming habits in check before we even think about adding on a fragrance. But a lot of women said that they love a fragrance on a man, and I can understand why. Fragrance, as silly as it sounds, can really evoke a feeling. It can make you feel cozy and comfortable and inviting. If she goes in for that hug and she smells the lovely fragrance that you sprayed on your neck, done deal. I do think an important thing to note here is not overdoing it. I know there are a lot of people who like to overspray their fragrances. I would personally recommend not doing that. I think it can be really overpowering and unpleasant, and really understand the fragrance that you're spraying. You know, if you're spraying a very heavy winter niche scent, you probably don't need 10 sprays, okay? I think 2 will probably suffice. Again, don't overdo it. Make sure that you smell good also without the fragrance, and you'll be good to go. But yes, a lot of women love a nice fragrance on a man, and I've actually done a lot of fragrance videos on my channel as well, so if you need a little bit of help with that, be sure to go check those out. The next sexiest thing that men wear, according to women, is a crisp dress shirt with rolled up sleeves. The keywords here are crisp and roll the sleeves up. I cannot tell you how many times I saw both of those things over and over. A wrinkled Oxford button down that looks like you've worn it about 30 times without giving it any TLC just doesn't have the same impact as a fresh, crisp one. A very easy way to achieve this is to steam or iron, depending on the fabric. Always check that little garment label on the inside to make sure that you're taking care of it properly. But if you don't have a steamer or an iron, you are doing yourself such a disservice, and you need to get yourself one. And also, like I always say, roll those sleeves on up. This one here says button-down shirts with rolled up sleeves to expose their forearm and watches. And that was just one of the responses of many that expressed their love for a man in a button-down with those sleeves rolled up. I think this gives off such a nonchalantly sexy look, and we just love it. We just melt when a guy rolls his sleeves up. We can see his forearm, maybe a little bit of vascularity, a nice watch on the wrist. Nothing beats it. Which leads me into my next one here, which is a watch or simple accessories. The top response for accessories was a watch, so I'll start there, but there were some other accessories repeatedly mentioned that I will mention too. A watch is my absolute favorite accessory for a man. It's an accessory that ascends any fashion trend. It is a classic and it's functional, which helps too. It's also a really great way to add a little something extra to your outfit without overdoing it, especially if you're not really into accessories. If that sounds like you, I think a watch is a really good choice. But women also mention a necklace, like a simple chain, or an understated sort of metal bracelet. I'm personally really not into a necklace, but I know a lot of women are, so I don't want to let my opinion sway an entire video. I know a lot of women like this, even though I don't. I think something to keep in mind here is just don't underestimate the power of small details. Accessories like a tie bar, cufflinks, sunglasses definitely don't go unnoticed either. I think really paying attention to those little details that you think people won't notice, but they actually will, is something that can make a guy stand out and also make your outfit a little bit more interesting. You know, I always say basics make the best outfits, but that can often feel a little bit boring if you're doing it without adding any sort of your own personal flair or style into your outfit. So accessories are a really wonderful way to do that. If you're someone who likes to dress a little bit more subdued or understated, or you go for those basics that I mentioned all the time, add on a watch, add on a pair of sunglasses, just something to make it a little bit more dynamic and interesting. This goes a long way. The next thing women said was a layered look. Girls love layers. Layering is something that is incredibly easy to do that instantly adds dimension to your outfit. Throwing on a cool jacket over your plain white t-shirt that I mentioned earlier can really take your outfit up a notch. I think this is extra easy to do in the fall and winter if you live somewhere that has seasons or a significant temperature drop. You can just pop on a cool jacket and make your outfit entirely different. But even if you aren't necessarily throwing on a jacket, you could add a sweater on top of your button down to create a sort of sophisticated, smart type of look. There really are so many ways to play around with layering, so just find something that works for you and where you live, what you do on a daily basis. But again, layering is a really wonderful way to add dimension to your outfit and make you look super stylish, and it's so easy. Next up is pretty obvious, but I have to say it because again, it was submitted a lot, and that is a tailored suit. I mean, a man in a suit, enough said. It really just gives off distinguished gentleman who has his life together, which women do love. Even if you aren't someone who wears a suit often, I think on those rare occasions that you find yourself wearing one, just know that the lady in your life is a fan. In regards to suits or a blazer or any sort of formal attire, there were a lot of call outs also here to fit. And again, as I always say, but really want to reiterate, fit is the most important thing. Your clothes are going to look better and you will look better if your clothes fit you properly. When it comes to more formal attire, I would really make sure that you know your measurements and find yourself a local tailor. A man in a suit that fits him properly is chef's kiss, but I think if a man is wearing a suit that does not fit him properly, it just does not hit the same way. So most important thing there is the fit of what you're wearing. If you're watching this video and you're thinking, okay, well, I'm never in a situation where I could wear a suit, don't worry about it. Not all of these are going to apply to you, and that's okay. Lucky for you, there are 7 other things on the list that you probably can do. So find what works for you, take what you need, leave what you don't. If you're not someone who wears a suit, you're not someone who wants to wear a suit, that's totally fine. I'm not telling you to be something that you're not. The reason I say that is because every time I mention a suit in a video, I get a lot of comments from guys like, well, I'm never in a situation where I would wear a suit, or I would never wear a suit, or that doesn't work for where I live, or whatever it is, and that's totally fine. I know a lot of you who watch don't necessarily dress up for work and you wear very casual workwear type of things, and a lot of that is super sexy too. So there's no need to be caught up on the fact that a suit was mentioned. There are many other sexy things that men wear that are not a suit. Okay, the amount of responses that I got for the last one on my list today genuinely shocked me. And I decided to put it as last because I don't personally think that this is one of the sexiest things that men wear. And I think this one really depends on the age demographic and where you're located. But I had to include it because of how many girls said this. Again, I'm genuinely shocked. And that is a baseball hat. I know what you're thinking. What? Why? I've always followed the rule that a baseball hat is for going to a sports game, blocking out the sun, or a bad hair day. But apparently, women love this. And I just want to read you some of the responses because, again, I could not believe how many women said this. This one says backwards hats. A lot of women like it backwards. I think if you wear a backwards hat, you look like you're about to ruin my life. Which maybe is just not what I'm into, but I know a lot of girls are really into that F-boy, bad boy look. Like they like you to look like you're going to ruin their life, which not necessarily sure if that's going to attract the healthiest gal, but I digress. A hat with hard eyes, baseball caps or beanies, okay, a call out to the beanies too, backwards hat and a wedding ring. For me, my husband and his wedding ring does something to me. It makes me unwell in a good way every single time that I see it. I'm also really into hands anyway, so I think it just accentuates the hands. Maybe that's why a lot of women are into it as well, because they're already sort of into guys' hands. And then when there's a ring on it, whew. This one says a work uniform, backwards hat, iron shirt, smile, and confidence. And there were a lot like that. Backwards hat, nice watch, cologne, and a well-fitted tee. Just a me thing, but something about a man wearing glasses or a backwards hat. There were also a lot of mentions of glasses, which I thought was interesting. I am really into glasses. My husband wears glasses, so I'm a little bit biased there. But I just think glasses are super sexy. I also like sunglasses. I know a lot of women do as well. This says, I love a baseball hat. Great way to show some personality, which I guess could be true too. Like even if your baseball hat had like a sports logo on it or something else that you're into, I think that could be really neat. Again, I'm not someone who's really into logos, but I think if you're doing it with an accessory, that's a great place to do it, especially if your outfit is very simple and basic. Like if you're wearing a white t-shirt with a cool jacket, a pair of denim, sneakers, and then a baseball hat, that's something that you like. Super cool. I think that's totally great. So in conclusion here, the responses that I got were still pretty similar to the ones that I got last year. This, of course, is not definitive of what every girl in the world likes. Okay, I'm saying that so that we don't run to the comments and leave that down below. We are all different and have varying preferences, but I just thought it was fun to get some audience participation and share something other than just my personal opinion, because not every girl in the world likes what I like. You know, I love a man in a turtleneck, but I know a lot of women don't like that. So I just really want to reiterate here that we are all different and we are all into different things. And I think it's important to wear something that is authentic to you, and people who are into that will naturally be into it. You shouldn't change yourself to be something that you're not. I'm not telling you to go out and buy all of these things just to impress women. I just thought it was interesting to hear from different women to see what they're into. So just a little bit of fun here today. It's nice to do something different from time to time. So if you like this video or found it helpful, be sure to give it a thumbs thumbs up and subscribe to my channel to be in the loop for when I release new content. Let me know down below, is there something that you wear that women seem to love? I would love to know, as a man, what do you love women to wear? Keep it PG, okay? That's all I'm gonna say. Also, just a personal example here, some of you love this dress and some of you hate this dress and you hate when I wear it. But we're not all the same. We all like different things. And I think that's a perfect example. I like this dress, some of you don't. I wear it because I like it. Some of you also like it, which is a win-win. So there's a prime example for you guys. So again, let me know what you think down below. If you haven't already, be sure to follow me over on Instagram at Courtney Christine Ryan. I love connecting with all of you guys over on there as well. As always, thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all next time.